Yes, guys, good evening, and you are welcome. I'm so sorry for starting the class late. I was trying to set up some things. So, I trust you guys are doing great. How was your weekend? Happy New Week. Let's get to work. Rich Movies, you are welcome to Foundation. Thanks for subscribing. So, this is just 104 that the class is starting already. So, you're expected to join now. I wasn't expecting to come here and still see you guys not active because this is 5 minutes into the class already. Okay, so where is Dora? Where is Grace? Where is Omoyasuno? Okay, Gst104. In the previous classes, we've talked about the meaning of a library, and that was what we talked about a collection. Hmm. Okay, please give me 1 minute. Let me finish my setup here. And we'll talk about a library itself in Unit 1. Let's try to refresh our brain. What is a library? Let me use that as a form of entry into today's class. What is a library? I'm expecting your answers in the chat box. So that is the basic thing we started this course with. We'll also talk about brief history of the library. We'll talk about the library of classification. Sorry, the appearance of library in the olden days, in the medieval period. We'll talk about China, the Chinese Chamber Library. We'll talk about several other libraries that we have in those days, and so many things that shows the appearance of a library. So we also talk about library classification, where we have things you can find in the library. We talked about things like the you can find magazines there, you can find books, journals, articles, and so on and so forth. I hope my network is fine. The network should not fumble tonight. Too. Dora, good evening. So I'm just trying to recap what we have done before. So we said we talked about the public libraries, the academic library, national libraries, and the school libraries, under types of libraries. And we'll talk about under the origin of libraries. That is where we talked about the Chinese Chamber Library, uh, the clay tablets that shows the earliest appearance of a library. And we talked about the meaning of a library, which we said that the word is from the Latin word or liber, which means book. French is library, and the meaning of a library is just an organized collection of materials or resources that is made available to a defined community for reference or borrowing. So we have done all that. We've done types and functions of each of them. Now our concern is to talk about what we call what we are here to do today is Unit 2 of the course material. And in Unit 2, we'll talk about library services. What are the services that the library offers? That is our concern tonight. What are the services that the library offers? In this unit, we'll be talking about general library services and specialized library services. I will check the two of them. We'll see the difference between of them. If they have similarities, we'll check them out. Functions and examples will also be studied. Now, as a form of introduction to this particular unit, which is library services, you will learn about the various services of the library. These services are designed to ease academic work and research. Now, the services provided to users depend on the objectives of the parent organization of the library. Although services provided in libraries may differ, but there are certain services that are common to all libraries. They are known as general library services. And for example, we have lending services. Well, not all, but basically all libraries are meant to lend books out. They are meant to lend resources out. While the system, the pattern, the way in which they are doing it may differ. But we generally expect all library to lend books out to users. Then we have reservation services is another one. We have interlibrary loan service. A user in the particular library needs a material that library doesn't have at the moment, but another library is in possession of that material. So this library where the user is in need of it, we write to the other library to loan the book from them. And after the user is done with wherever I want to use it to do, they return the book to the uh, other library. So, and document delivery, reference services, current awareness services, and user education. Those are the services provided by the library, general services provided by the library. There are also some specialized services that libraries provide for users. For example, literature search is a specialized service. Selective dissemination of information, that is the SDI, selective dissemination of information, referral service, and translation service. All these services will be treated in this unit. So this unit is a wide one, it's a broad one. We're talking about different things, especially categories of services that the library offers and what each of them represent. Francis is saying network. Well, my network is fine here, so I think it's from your side. Sorry about that. Well, I only have two people responding to the classwork. That is fine and that is bad. All right. What are you expected to know by the end of this lesson? Why are you going through this unit? Why do we want to read this unit tonight? Well, we want to read this unit tonight because we want to know how to distinguish between the types of library services that we have and how to choose a library based on the services. How to distinguish the types of library services we have and how to choose a library based on the services it offers. Now, the general library services. Don't forget that basically tonight we are dealing with library services, and library services are divided into two main parts. One is the general library services, which is GLS, and the second one is the specialized library services, which is SLS. So I want to take an icebreaker. I'll pause a bit here and take an icebreaker. GLS stands for what? And I have another one, of course, SP, SL. So that's an icebreaker, and I'm expecting you guys to, answer them. While you are doing that, I'll move on. We want to talk about general library services. That means the one that is like general, is common to all libraries that you can find, whether it is academic library, school library, public library, national library, research or special library. They all have these general library services that they offer. One is reference services. In the reference services, what is it all about? I know you must have been hearing things like referencing a book, the APA method, the and so on and so forth. Now probably be wondering what is this they are talking about. Now let's talk about this thing and get it right. No, that would be too much. Now, reference services. What does it mean? What does reference services mean? That is what we're after. That's the first general library services or service that we're going to talk about. And I want you guys to open your mind very well. Once you start talking about the the types of services that we have under general library services, you should be able to distinguish between which service belongs to general or which one belongs to. That is the objective number one why we are studying this unit. So when they mention reference services, your mind should go straight to, oh, that is general service, not specialized service. According to Cadill in 2000, reference service is the personal assistant or assistance given by the reference personnel, which is a librarian, to library users in search of information for whatever purpose. So library users and potential users have different reference queries that need to be solved by the librarians. So reference processes involve interviewing the reader to enable the reference librarian to articulate the problem of the user clearly. The outcome of the interview, what source in the library or outside the library, other libraries to use in order to provide the answers to the queries. There are types of queries. They include the following. But before we go to different types of queries, why don't we dwell a bit on reference services again to help us digest what they are trying to say. What they are trying to say is Dora is working on the effect of uh, maybe a particular medicine on pet, and Dora needs to read a lot about pets so that her research will be extensive enough to be accepted. So Dora needs to consult the library to get materials that relate to pets and their eating habits, their diet or anything. Now Dora went to a library, and when she got to the library, she met with the librarian. Okay, hello, good afternoon. Please, I am currently working on this particular project about pets. Please, could you give me some only some tips or advice on okay, or I need some materials on so and so aspect, especially the eating habit of pets, especially dogs or whatever. Now the librarian or the librarian or the sorry, yes, the librarian is expected to have known or probably search through some search tools the part of the library where Dora is meant to go to straight to go and get books about pets. Okay, this that is okay. Oh, so I think I understand what you are saying. Okay, you see, go to that shelf, the second row. The books there are all on pet diet. Now, if you read what is written here again, I'll take it one more time for your digestion. A reference service is the personal assistance given by the reference personnel. The reference personnel is a librarian in the library, somebody that works there in the library. They have several duties they do there. Now, to a library users, or sorry, to library users. Now, a user in this example will use Dora in search of information for whatever purpose. Now, Dora is searching for information on the diet life of pets. So that is the information she's searching for, diet life of pet. And the purpose why she's doing that is because there is this new food that is outside that is probably causing some health issues to pet, and Dora needs to, kind of find out why exactly is this food, what other food are pet at, or maybe the interest may even be narrowed down to a particular pet, maybe dog or cat. So that is for whatever purpose. Then the library users and potential users have different reference queries that need to be solved. That is why you visit the library sometimes. Where it's not just to go and read for fun most of the time. You have something that is pushing you up, that is strong on your mind, a research you're actually working on, a project that you're actually working on that needs materials. Now, reference processes involve interviewing the reader to enable the reference librarian to articulate the problem of the user clearly. You see, the thing is, if you just enter the library and you start going around all the shelves that are there without consulting the librarian, especially in the case of Dora. Dora may spend the whole day in the library without getting anything done, wasting her time. But with reference service, Dora can just she could just go to the librarian, express herself. A form of short interview will take place because the librarian will want to know the exact thing you are working on, exact thing you need, so as to be able to give you accurate direction to where you find the resources that you need. Now, the outcome of the interview will determine what source in the library or outside the library, which is like other libraries. Okay, oh, that thing you are looking for, we actually don't have it here, but if you go to so and so library, they are specialized in this field, so they will be able to help you. That is after the interview, after the person knows the mind of Dora, what Dora is there to do. So I have an icebreaker for you guys, and I want everybody online to contribute to this. Done with refresh this icebreaker. The icebreaker will help us know those that have been following. That means when we talk about queries, what Dora came to that library with, when discussing with the librarian, we can call it or we refer to as a query. Dora has a query in her mind about pet eating habit, pet diet. So that is a query. What kind of query or what type of queries do we have that library user or potential user may come to the library with? Somebody that just entered the library now, what are the possible challenges the person will have or we need reference service for? One is we have directional query. Directional. What is directional? They ask questions a lot on this directional ready quick reference question, especially in TMA. I'm so certain most of you will meet because TMA questions are somehow constant. Now, directional service. What is that? This type of service involves reader questing for a specific location within the library. Most readers, especially first-time users, find the services very useful. Directional is that service that shows you the exact location where something can be found in the library, where you can locate something. So you ask for direction. This is where I'm going, or this is what I'm here for. It's okay. Check shelf 5, row 7. You see it there. That is directional. Then we have ready or quick reference question. Ready or quick reference question. What is that one? This is when a reader asks a specific question relating to the use of library materials in the reference sections. For example, if a user should come and ask, please, what is the population of Ghana? What is the population of Ghana? That kind of question is a ready or quick reference question. Or who was the president of Ghana in the year 2000? There is a kind of catalog that contains such information in the library. Now, these are everyday questions that readers regularly ask reference librarians. So these questions are easily answered by consulting a specific reference source, such as almanacs, biographies, yearbooks, and dictionaries, etc. So these ones are ready or quick reference question that a librarian might, sorry, a user can just come up and ask a librarian and say, "Oh, please, I want to know in what year did Nigeria, got independence?" And then, the librarian, if the person doesn't know it, actually, they are ready to, open materials, quickly tell you. We call them reference books like biographies, yearbooks, almanacs, and the rest of them. I don't want us to just assume that everybody know what this almanacs means. So this is a classwork. It's very good you find out yourself. What's the meaning of almanacs? I think I should help you guys to drop it there so that we can have. So I will drop it there. You search it out yourself and tell us the meaning. Search it out yourself and tell us the meaning. Now let's go to to answering these types of queries. Most librarians have created a special desk called the information desk. So quick question queries or references are answered by the special desk, which is called information desk. The special desk, which is called information desk. I hope you are digesting this thing little by little as we are going. Okay, almanac is a reference publication usually used annually. Contains calendar-based information and practical data. Okay, thank you. Another icebreaker is there waiting for us. Now, let's move on. We have search questions. So far, so good. We've talked about two different, you know, services under the reference service. Like when someone just come, we're talking about queries that users may have, the different type of queries that users may have. We've talked about the directional queries. We talked about the ready or quick reference questions. Now we're talking about search questions. Search questions. Now, readers often need background information or general information on a theme. Search questions cannot be met by one single reference source in the library. One reference librarian may need to consult dictionaries and indexes, abstracts, etc. to answer search questions. Those are search questions. It's just like the name implies. Before the librarian will be able to answer that question, he or she will need to do some searches. Search. He or she will need to do some searches through either consulting the so on and so forth. So that is the third type of query that a library user might come up with. You know, those are challenges. The one now is research questions. Research questions. What are we doing? The basic thing we are doing here is the type of library services that are available. We categorize library services into two: the general library services, the GLS, and the specialized library services, the SLS. For now, we are treating the G, and under it, we said we have several general library services. Those are library services that are general or common to all libraries. We have several examples, but we started with one. We call it reference services. And under reference services, as we've understood reference services to mean that kind of personal support that the librarian offers to the library users or potential library users when they come with their queries. We now branch a bit to say, okay, if we say that reference services is the type of services offered by the librarian to potential library users or the library users on their queries, what are the type of queries that library users or potential library users might come up with? That is where we now started talking about different types of queries that a library user may come to the library with. We started with directional, when you need a particular direction, you know, to a particular material. And then we said the second one, the ready or quick question. The ready or quick question, reference question, ready or quick reference question. That was the second one we talked about. And you kind of understood that the question they normally ask on this in TMA is a question like, who is the president of Ghana? Is under dash type of query. You should know that it is ready or quick question. There is one other one they normally ask under directional. There is one they normally ask about directional. I can't really remember that, but when I check the past questions for TMA, I may be able to come up with it. So that is ready quick reference question. Then we'll talk about the third one, which is search questions. As the name implies, the librarian will need to search some materials like dictionaries, encyclopedia, indexes, abstract, or so on to be able to answer search questions. So we'll talk about research question next. This is a more serious type of reference service. Here, the user is faced with a research topic that requires comprehensive reference sources in order to provide literature review. Literature review is you trying to read and digest every other books that have been written that are related to your research topic, your project topic. So when you need that, you see that when you go to the library and say, please, I'm trying to, please, I'm a final year student of National Open University of Nigeria, and I'm writing on the topic. My final year project topic is the effect of employee satisfaction on uh, employee performance in selected, organizations in maybe Abuja. So please, I need materials on the topic. Now, that one is different from, oh, go to shelf 12, row 9. You will see the book. No, no, no. This one is research topic. Materials will differ. So now, for example, to answer a question on the role of the library in national development, the user will need to consult a wide variety of sources that will assist him or her in compiling a comprehensive listing of pertinent documents relevant to the topic. In addition, the library may refer the user to experts in the field. Say, okay, oh, do you know Professor Wale Soyinka? Okay, he's just around the corner there. You probably go to his office to. He's so good in that, you know, prose or you know that field or whatever you are trying to deal with. Is going to give you proper guidance or information on that topic. That's something like that. So that is question. Research questions. I think that makes it number 5 or so. We started with, don't forget, directional. We move to ready or quick reference questions. After that, we've talked about the search question, which is number 3. Number 4, we'll talk about research questions. And now we're going to the vertical files. The vertical files. All this we are talking about, we are still discussing general library services. General library services. Now, In general, reference librarians maintain specific source that will meet the local enquiries. You guys should pay attention to this vertical files. Question come on it in TMA every semester. Now, in general, reference librarians maintain specific source that will meet the local enquiries, such as an airline or railway bus timetables, public holidays, local cinema shows, and directions within a city. Sources for answering such questions are kept by the reference librarians and they are referred to as vertical files. They are usually sources of miscellaneous information. This is where TMA comes in. It is important, therefore, for the librarian to keep such sources as maps, brochures, telephones, guides, etc. of towns or cities in which the libraries are located. Imagine me entering a library in Abuja and I have something I want to know about Abuja, and then gone, they don't even have that information in the library, and the library is located in Abuja. I'm going to feel somehow as a user that what is now in this library if such a simple information about the state you are situated in cannot be found in you. So that is vertical files, like ready things uh, that are like day-to-day activities, recordings of activities that pertain to cities, most especially the city where that library is situated. We have statistics, and that will be the last thing we'll talk about under reference services. All we have been talking about statistics, research questions, search questions, directional, ready or quick, and vertical files, and the last one, statistics. They are all under reference services. And reference services is number one type of service under general library services. So under GLS, let's take the structure. From GLS, we talked about uh, reference services. Then from reference services, we are talking about the types we have: directional, ready or quick reference question, search questions, research questions, uh, vertical files, and then now statistics. All records of users' queries must be well kept by the reference librarian. This is to enable the library to know the nature of users' queries and get adequately prepared to answer them in future. Statistics is important in the library because when statistics of the user's queries are kept, it helps us to answer with more effectiveness, accuracy, and even speed in the future. So somebody has come before and asked, please, I want to know in what year did Ghana gain her independence? And please, who was the first president of Ghana after independence? Now, somebody asked that before and we recorded it down. The first time that question was asked, we need to go and be looking for the answer as librarians started searching around. So after we got the correct answer that day, we recorded it. So date, this person can ask about the date Ghana got independence and the first president. Then the date is maybe October 1, 1987. Then the first president, something Kumayama, we've written it down. Tomorrow, when somebody come and say, please, who is the first president of Ghana after independence? We don't need to go and start making research again. Statistics have shown us, based on records that we have from other queries, that the president is. So sometimes when questions come in like that, we first search through the records that we have, if something like that has ever been asked before we start making other or consulting other means of answering it. So that is statistics. I will go over it again. We are building a block or in layers. The first thing we should note, what are we doing tonight? Library services. And the library services on its own is divided into two major parts. the JLS, which is the General Library Services, and the Specialized Library Services. Well, our concern tonight is the General Library Services. And under the General Library Service, we say, first of all, those type of libraries are the type of libraries that basically deals with, those type of services rather, the type of services that deals with general activities. Like almost every library, all libraries have those services. They are common to all libraries. Now, under general library services, the first type of service that falls under general is reference services. And by the time we talked about the meaning of reference services, we understood that it is a way of librarians meeting the queries that library users or potential library users, which are new people to the library or people that have been visiting the library before, the kind of queries that they may come up with, a way of answering them, a way of answering those questions, those queries. Those are the things we call, sorry, that is what we call the reference services. Then we said, if we say that the general library services, number one type of service is reference services, and it is a type of service that answer queries. What are the queries that users may come up with or may come to the library with? Those are the things we have been talking about. We started with directional, we talk about ready or quick reference questions, we talk about search questions, we talk about research questions, we talk about vertical files, and finally, we are talking about statistics. We've actually talked about it too. So all those are under reference services, which is under general library service. Now we are going to the second example of general library service. Second example of general library service. Okay, someone said, what is the difference between search question and research question? I will take it that you just joined us because we've talked about the two of them. Now, for research question, for research questions, now you have a project that you want to do. Let's say your final year project. You need so many materials in order for you to do literature review. You need so many materials. So when you come with your research topic and you need direction, you need material, that one, the type of resources that you will need or the librarian will need to refer you to, there are a lot of them. It's not just one book. You understand? So that one is deep. Let me just say one is deep, the other one is surface. Now, in that kind of situation, they will need to refer you to different literatures on that your topic that you need to go and read and review yourself. That is research question. But search question, that one is, I am writing, okay, I was given a topic. Let's say the effect of uh, let me say maybe alkaline metals on so and so, a very complex topic. Or let me even use maybe a general topic. So let's say your own is, you are trying to check the effect of artificial intelligence on secondary school students, you understand, or on university, or sorry, on tertiary institution students. Now, if you go to the library and just say, please, please, I want to know about this topic. I want to know about this topic. It's different from, please, I want to research about this topic. So I need materials that I'm going to read and get different ideas for. I just want to know about this topic. That one is search. The librarian will do something. They will just search through the resources that is in front of them that is available. And say, okay, that topic is basically about this and this and this. Or that topic is, maybe when you ask like that, they may need to check dictionary. Okay, what is artificial intelligence? When they check that one, they need to go and check maybe some abstracts that they have available, some indexes or handbooks that talks about, is there anyone that talk about artificial intelligence and then the effect. So that one is you just want to know generally about that your topic that you came with, that question that you came with. You just need general overview, general It's just like when we were talking about skimming and scanning, or the skimming and the study reading speed. One is like skimming to give you just a general information about that thing. The other one is study. You want to read all the materials that are available, so that what, you'll be able to come up with your final year project. You'll be able to do the literature review. So that is the difference between the two. I hope I have answered your question. That question is a very good one. Those are the type of questions we should be expecting from you guys if you guys are following. So, mm, oh, I have one icebreaker. It seems I've been talking for too long. It's time to engage. Let's take this icebreaker, and I hope I've answered Francisca's question. Okay, thank you. I have a funny I have a funny icebreaker there. I hope you guys can attempt it. What's the time? 42 minutes. Oh God, we need to do one more thing tonight. Current awareness services, CAS. So, current awareness services, as the name 104 exam is mostly full of abbreviations. So, please, any abbreviation we meet during the course of our reading, let us bear them in mind. Yes, Dora, I would have accepted your submission. Something that is not the way it is written in the material. So, what is current awareness service? The service number 2 that we are talking under general life. Current awareness service is defined by Ashikuzama in 2013 as the establishment of a system for reviewing publications immediately at receipt. What it means is that as soon as any new material comes into the library, as soon as they bring in new materials, new books into the library, there is a system that tends to read about them, like partially, to just know, okay, what is this book all about? Maybe they just open the summary or the abstract or anything to get the overview. Okay, this book is about and there is this our student, or our there is this user last week that mentioned this topic, is writing about this topic. Okay, fine. Let's note it down. We have a book that will help him now. So when the user comes to the library next, through current awareness services, they will say, okay, they will tell you, oh, sir, under your project you're writing, we have 3 books now that just came in. Look at them here. We have 3 new books on your topic. That is current awareness service. As those books were coming into the library, there is a part of the library that we call current awareness service that will review those books to know what those books are about generally. So when we have users that have need of them, we just tell the users, please, we have a new material that relates to what you are doing. Now, selecting information pertinent to the program concept and recording individual items to be brought to the attention of those persons to whose work are related. Just explain. So the purpose of current awareness service is to keep users abreast with up-to-date information in the specialized field of interest. I I don't know if it's in the exam. I usually see this question, or in TMA, but this statement is a question. Inform you guys. I said when a new book comes into the library, the current awareness services take record of it and keep it safe. And then they are looking for data user that says, please, whenever you have a book on this topic, you let me know. You say, we have 2 books now. So when the user comes in next, so we have 3 books now. We have 4 books that just came in yesterday, and talking exactly, or they are talking precisely on your topic. So they are keeping the users abreast of the current. Then when you say current, that means something that is still in town, new to town, or in vogue. Now, the reference librarian or librarians achieve this by collecting all latest documents, and by using users profile. They can also use, you know, the library has a record of its users too. Send them through telephone calls, email, scan, etc. to users. Materials such as preprint of papers, photocopy of table of content, periodical routines, library bulletins can be sent to users. Now, libraries recently published 100 books that came in today, and we have their titles and everything in form of a catalog. So we have everything written down. We can send emails to our regular users that we have fresh from the oven books that just arrived today. Here are their topics or their titles. So they can send to emails, to telephone calls. That, current awareness service. Just put it in mind that they are trying to keep their users current. Okay, I don't know if you guys will agree with me that we have some people that have exhausted the books in some libraries. Like they visited the library so often that they've read almost, if not every book that the library is having. Whether it concerns their life, it doesn't concern their life, they are just bookworm. So those kind of people, they will be looking for new mat. Please, do you people have a new book I can read? We don't even need to ask now because we have current awareness service that will prompt you immediately that we have a new book. We have a new book. So current awareness service is not a personalized service. Thus, information provided to users is in broad subject categories without necessary targeting a user. They may send that email to almost everybody on their user list. Information can be provided on journals, books, conference proceedings, these theses and dissertations, newspapers and magazines. So that is all we'll be talking about today on the general under library services. The broad topic is library services. We'll talk about the first type, which is general library services, and we'll talk about the queries that users can come up with. And we'll also talk about current awareness services, which is the number 2. Uh, so, having done this tonight, guys, I think we have done justice to our first class, which is Gst104. We've exceeded the time a bit, but take that last icebreaker before you leave the class. Take that last icebreaker before you leave the class. The information provided can be, or the information can be provided on journals, books, dash, theses and dissertations, newspapers, and magazines. So, having done this, I believe we have come to the end of the first class. Just answer that before you leave the class. See you guys next week. We still have a second class for those of you that are in mass communication. So I'll be expecting you guys in the class. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.